是，确实。 say so. This woman that called herself daughter, you was not daughter girl, and you don't have no say so. It wasn't no say so of anything in my lifetime. None of it. Well, none of it. You can do all that fucking shit all you want to, with all you want. Any sorcery done for them? What absolutely not. It's not nullified. That's nice, nigga. do is cuddle with them. Cuddle with them. That's all they gotta do. But you better watch it. Like you would. You got the dog in your mouth. And I find it on the bitch. I don't know what y'all doing. I'm feeling. I don't hate myself, honey. I love me. I'm sorry if you have a problem with it. No, honey, I don't hate myself at all. Mm-mm. No. I love me some me. I don't hate myself at all, honey. I don't do nothing hateful to myself. Do you do something hateful to yourself? Because I don't do anything hateful to myself. That woman downstairs has a fucking problem. And she be acting all cool and stuff. But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to act cool and stuff in front of people's face. But that's Shirley's daughter. That's Shirley's granddaughter. The girl is not even older than me. You know that's true. Hate myself for what? I have done nothing. No one anything. What am I gonna hate myself for? Because I don't have my house no more. So I don't hate myself because of that. Because it was fake and fraudulent. The girl didn't even come down to downtown. There was not even a doc. They don't even have no document of it. It wasn't even on a docket. No, I don't hate myself at all. That was Shirley Owens, and that woman is closely related to Shirley. Fuck that bitch. No, I don't hate. What I need to hate myself for? Hate myself for what? Because I'm not a Christian. I love myself because I'm not a Christian, honey. Because all they do is sit up there and fucking bullshit. Sitting up there bullshitting people. I don't need to hate myself because I went through something. So everybody goes through stuff. You're a decoy because somebody went through something and it was too hard for them. You're a decoy. You're over here because why? You killed yourself and they brought you over here. That's why you're over here. So maybe you hate yourself. I don't know. But I know I don't hate myself. Don't worry about it. Anyway, no rest for what happened. What gonna happen? Could I have done things differently? I think the only thing that I could have done differently within this situation was to save more money. Was to save. But given the situation, you need candles, that's a necessity. I wasn't eating out. I just started doing Uber Eats when I got here. Be feeling the vibes of like they don't wanna, they don't wanna see your ass and shit. So I try not to get in. And then when you be fixing your food, they be trying to see it. No, this is the food that I bought. I have the receipts. You want me to screenshot it and I will send it to your phone. I get damn near $200 some worth of food stuff just for food every fucking month. Don't worry about it. What the fuck I need to hate myself for? I didn't do nothing to myself. I love myself, especially when I found out where the family I came from. You fucking stupid. Oh fucking well. People hate themselves when they don't know who they are. I know who I am. In spite of all this fucking fuck shit that these niggas doing. Oh well. Then the motherfucker gave Jonathan $1 million check. Jonathan had moved out. He got his own place, right? He got a settlement. He was in a bad accident. He got a settlement for whatever amount of money he moved out. They offered him $1 million check for him to move back in here with his son, just to make me look like I'm some fucking monster. This is the type of shit that I be talking about. Oh, but how do you know that? You say I'm talking to myself when I be talking, when I don't record myself. Whatever. You can say I'm talking to myself all you want to. How did you record me? If I'm talking to my fucking self, why did Keisha record, whatever her real name is, Janet, whatever. Why did she record me on her phone earlier when I was talking to the camera outside? How did you record me? You ain't nowhere in this house. Because I was talking to the camera and I wasn't talking to my phone camera. I was talking to the camera and the people that was watching. So fuck them. Fuck that bitch too. And fuck Gunna too. And it's a shame that I have to put all of Gunna in one basket because I was trying to differentiate between these people that have got out the gun, the whatever, from the others, because I knew I had spoke to their president personally when they first came over here a few months ago. But it's a shame, and that's all I'm gonna say. I put this stuff on YouTube. I don't give a damn if you don't watch it or not. It don't really matter, honestly. Josh talking about, well, that nigga named Malcolm. His real name Malcolm. How do I know they real name? I'm just saying. But anyway, you say I hate myself? No, I love me. I'm very knowledgeable. I'm not ignorant. I know exactly what's going on and I know how to speak to people. I don't call nobody no bitch unless it needs to be called a bitch. I will call you a bitch behind your back in a minute if I don't like your fucking ass. You goddamn right. However, to the public, I'm not about to be like, bitch, give me my money back. Bitch, give me my fucking groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you wonder why you sit up there and you be disrespectful and they let you be disrespectful. Why they let you be disrespectful is beyond anything that I even want to know. I don't even want to know why. That ain't none of my damn business. Why somebody do something else or allow somebody else to do something. That's none of my business. That don't have nothing to do with me. What does have something to do with me is your disrespectfulness. Coming in the room, going through my fucking shit. What you looking for, a crack pipe? Okay, I look different without makeup. Everybody know that. Okay, so what? I got a hole in my damn chest. I have seizures really bad. I'm on medication. I mean, like, I have health problems. So that contributes to my aesthetic without makeup. Along with the stress that I'm dealing with. Somebody didn't put you out of your house and they threw away and they wouldn't even let you get anything. Guess what? That police officer, guess what happened? He killed himself. And guess what? They kneecapped his ass. That's what they ain't telling you. Why they not telling you this shit? Because it's an operation. Why would they tell you that? Because if they tell you the truth, you ain't going to do it, what they want you to do. And they ain't going to be able to carry out their operation, duh. These motherfuckers have been kneecapped. And not in America. Don't worry about it. You sit up there and you think you can do everything. You might get away with it a little while, but trust me. You ain't gonna get away with it. And people, that's why I'm trying to control. And I have a very bad, I've always had a temper problem. But it's 10 times worse. Oh, why y'all be disrespectful to me? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing from the peanut gallery. You know why? Because you are allowing a minor to be disrespectful to an elder. I am considered an elder if you want to consider Africa's culture, where they from. So, in all actuality, however you feel about me saying whatever, it really don't mean anything to me, because I'm defending myself and I'm on medication. So, oh well. Nah, do not curse out that woman. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna curse you out. You gonna get out the way with me, because we are adults. Except for that one. We're adults. That's like John Brown Decoy came home the other day, yesterday. It might have been the day before yesterday. I think it was yesterday, it was yesterday. And I had uploaded, him getting out the way or whatever. And he was like, he must have been on my page. Like, first of all, why are you stalking me? Excuse me. But he was on my page, and he was like, I guess he told him that, he was on my page, that I had him on YouTube. So he asked me, you got Josh on YouTube? You got him on YouTube? And I said, why? Like, why? I'm not, I ain't had no attitude or anything, but, like, why? Why are you even, you know what I'm saying? I just kept it at a why. But to elaborate on that why, like, why are you even asking me about anything that I have on YouTube about a bitch ass nigga that wanna be grown so fucking bad that he has to resort to calling somebody a bitch and cursing because he can't curse unless he an adult. So he runs cursing through the ground because he can curse now because he's a decoy of a grown ass man. Let's talk about it. Don't worry about it. Why are you asking me about if I have him on YouTube? Of course I have him on YouTube, just like I have everybody else on YouTube that was in this house. Just like I have everybody else that was on you that was when I was in Valley Park. You goddamn right. I recorded even the eviction. Even them moving my stuff. That's on YouTube, but it's under, my shit be under unlisted. You damn right. Because that was fucking wrong. And, it's almost like, well, you don't matter. Oh no. You can say I don't matter all you want to. The truth of the matter is I matter a lot. I matter a great deal, because if I wasn't, and if I did not matter, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It wouldn't even be going on. Because people that don't matter, you don't even think twice about them. Crackheads, you know what I'm saying, on the street, and you don't even think twice about them because they don't even fucking matter to you. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I stand corrected. But it's the gestures. People don't have to believe me. I've been saying this over and over since the beginning. They said that I stole jewelry when I was at Zales. I was at BRCC, a paralegal student at BRCC. Also living in the old house when I was working at Zales. They wouldn't even give me hours. The hours were like horrible. Anybody that used to work in the mall or whatever, that you already know part-time is horrible. They not gonna, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get, don't be looking for no big ass check from the mall. But you know how, well, you probably don't know. I don't know if y'all doing that at Southern, but at Baton Rouge Community College, you get your refund check, and I had my refund check, and that's why that kind of stretched it out from Zales or whatever. But I was part-time because I was a full-time student. Anyway, I had bought a car and everything, right? I had a car note and everything. So they said that I stole $100,000 worth of jewelry. That's what started the investigation. Okay. I left them and I started working at somewhere else. It was this big thing because they said I stole jewelry. However, the timing doesn't add up. And I end up the CEO of Zales of Signet Corporation sent me a check in the mail. So they can say all they want to. That's neither here or there. Because when they found out who did it, they, I guess if you sucking up dicks and kissing up ass or whatever. But it wasn't me. And they found out, they sent me a check. And they refused to talk about it. Right? But I heard they killed themselves anyway. But, and why did they say that I did it? Over Willie Thomas. That's why I don't fuck with Willie Thomas right now. He fine as a motherfucker, you goddamn right. But like I said earlier, everything that glitters not gold. He sat up there and will come and walk around the store, at the outskirts of the store, like he was shopping. That was the most ghettoest mall. Like, they closed it down or whatever. That was the ghettoest mall. And he wouldn't even speak. I used to have the biggest crush on him. That was my past life. That was before I was knowledgeable of that religion and those type of people. That situation brought me to a point of wanting to know more about who I am, and in the journey of the turmoil of the slander, and guess what? I found out who I was. So no, I don't hate myself, because everything that I went through for a reason. I could have still been ignorant like them downstairs and him, the little boy. I could have still been ignorant, still been stupid, still been naive, still been timid, and all this. No, I do not hate myself. I went through a journey. I went through a journey of of self-discovery. I went through a journey, a spiritual journey that you know not of. You can laugh and joke and stuff at the same, but it's funny how y'all be laughing at me and stuff. Okay, but you need the same recovery. You laughing and stuff, but you need that same journey, because everything that black people was taught is fraudulent. Everything that you read in your little book is fraudulent. Everything that you was taught in church is fraudulent. But that's a whole nother story. We ain't even gonna, that's something else to not even talk about. We not even honey, we not even gonna talk about that. That's a whole nother book. They ain't even in the same book, honey. But it's like you sit up there and, you want to laugh and joke and stuff or whatever. You want to put everybody against me. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to make me look like the worst person or whatever you've ever seen in your life, whatever I say. But I went on my journey. Most people in the world don't even have the opportunity to even understand what a real journey is. You have to be knowledgeable and accept the fact that you even need a journey. A self-discovery journey. People in the hood don't talk like that. People in the hood don't even know what that is. A self-discovery. How do I discover my masturbate? No, I'm not talking about masturbation. I'm not talking about anything sexual. In high school, I used to write in the newspaper, poems and stuff. I don't remember exactly the entire thing, but I do remember the title. And the title was called Who Am I? People die at 80 years old and still don't know who they are. People die every day and they don't have a clue who they really are. That's why when you talk about the top, people be like, oh, I'm the top, not her. You don't even have a clue about what the top is. You have to know. You could have had the top and not even know, but you don't know yourself. People had the top all the time, throughout the years, and didn't even know that they had the top. There's so many things to discover amongst the environment and amongst yourself, and you're in every type of environment. And somebody asks you, What's the best thing about yourself? What you gonna say? Somebody asks you, what's your best asset? What you gonna say? I know what I'm gonna say. But what would you say? Do you know yourself? Do you know yourself good enough to know what your best asset is if you was to be asked that question? What would your answer be? Would it be a true answer? Or an answer of what sounds good? People ain't ready for me because I will throw things off the charts and they'll be like, no, because we were taught certain things. I was taught the same thing you was taught. I grew up just damn near like most black people. But it wasn't until I always knew it was something more out there. I always knew it was something that had to be something else different than this little I was in the Islamic faith. I went through that. I went through different stages. I went through different things because when you're in your journey, when you're trying to find stuff, you're gonna figure out. You may figure out. You might not figure out who you are. But in that, at the end, it might be a long stretch. You'll find yourself. But when you're going through stuff, that's why I don't regret nothing that happened. You know why? They can do all they want to. I will take the fucking scraps that was given to me and I will make a fucking meal. That's a woman. That's the winner in me. I'm an athlete. Not no boxer. None of that. I've always been actively in sports growing up. I'm not saying that I'm the best person or I was the top this and no, I wasn't. But I always had a drive to not stop. You throw stuff at me, you push me down. I cry hard when I cry. I don't cry often, but I cry hard as a baby when I cry. When you push me down, I'm crying. I done scraped my knee, my elbows, and I got a bump on my head. You know what I'm saying? But when I get up, I dust myself off, put a little Band-Aid on it, sanitizer, put a little gauze or Band-Aid or whatever it needs. And then I'm going to try it again. Like, riding a bike, I'll never forget. Trying to ride a bike. Had them training wheels. I know that's the oldest cliche, but I'm using it because it's so true. And it fits in the scenario. But I'll never forget me wearing training wheels on my bike. Daddy, he told me, he was like, you're going to have to come off them training wheels sooner or later. Let's try it. And I was so scared. Because it seemed like this big thing. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, okay, no training wheels. took the training wheels and screwed them training wheels off. And he was like, okay, I'm right here behind you. Don't stop. Keep going. But I'm right here. So I'm like, okay. But I was scared. Scared as a motherfucker. He took his hands off, and as soon as he said, I'm about to take my hands off, I got scared. And I fell. Because he told me he was taking his hand, and I was so used to him taking his hands off. I mean, the training wheels. He took them training wheels off, and I fell, and I cried. I don't want to ride no bike no more. I don't want to ride no bike no more. My daddy was a professional baseball player. I played softball. Played volleyball. Volleyball is my favorite sport. Don't nobody know that shit. Now you do. And it was so many things that Philip taught me. However, like most black people, he's so religious. He was religious. So when I got older, and I came through my journey, and I realized I did some research about the Christian faith. That's all I knew. Most black people, that's all we do. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, that's all we know. Because that's what we were taught, and that's what they were taught, and that's what they, it goes back to back. So, him and I would clash. We was clashing. Because he was strong in his religion and what he believed. And when I have my mind set on something, I'm headstrong in it. We two of a kind. So we would clash. And we would clash. Let me put on this. Get my thing. And getting back to what I was saying. People laugh and stuff, but you have no idea about yourself. People don't even know there's a purgatory. They don't teach that in Sunday school. They don't teach that in your Christian, they don't teach you that in your Christian religion. They teach the opposite. But the types of them, they teach the opposite, But there are things, there's so many things. But when you immature or whatever, that's to be expected. People be like, I would say orange juice. The word. Okay. My name is Witch Forever. So you don't know how I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what I'm saying. But you think you know, but you don't. For example. We'll be like, cause you used to hearing people saying urges, incorrect. You can't get mad. I can't get mad at them. You ain't know. I was saying something earlier today, excuse me. It's about, but I was saying something earlier today. And I said, orange juice. The woman said, I'm so tired of hearing you say that word incorrectly. It's orange. I said, no, wait, hold up. I'm not speaking about oranges. ORANGE. That's not what I'm saying. But you can't get mad at people like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to continue to remind myself I can't get mad at people. You don't know me. You don't know that I'm a straight A student. I'm on the road, valedictorian, summa cum laude. You don't know that I was accepted to LSU. I was enrolled. You don't know that. All you know is the stuff that they told you down there. It ain't even theirs. It's mine. It's mine because my name is on it. I didn't ask for it. Really don't want it. Because that shit is holy and I'm not holy. But my grandparents thought that it was feasible for me. Because they felt as though I was capable or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they was thinking. Honestly, I really don't know. I think they was trying to save my soul or some shit. I don't know. They call themselves trying to do that because you know how old people is. But as big as my family is, they could have gave it to anybody, but they didn't. So, people don't know that. I know how to speak. I speak French, I speak Spanish, I speak Arabic. I know a little German. Just a couple of words don't even make a difference. I can say, salutations and fucking shit in German. Shit don't. Turkish, I speak Turkish. But, the shit don't. I pretty much can go anywhere in the world. But you don't know that. Because you ain't none of nobody fucking business. And they ain't gonna tell you that. They're just gonna highlight the shit. And they're gonna highlight you going through. And say that they doing it to you with that. That you did it to yourself. What they do went to you. That's why that bitch downstairs, she decided they call her a bitch. That bitch downstairs don't have a clue. But that's how I live my adult life. Because I learned that people are ignorant. People don't like to be told that they ignorant. Don't nobody want to hear that you ignorant. You don't want nobody telling you that you know what, you're kind of ignorant. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. And that's why I lived my adult life like I did and kept things to myself. Because people don't want to see you, they don't want to see you do better than them. They don't even want to see you do good. They laughing and joking at your demise, at your eviction. It really wasn't eviction. It was actually to make you look stupid. And that's all, and that's it, that's all. They didn't want nothing else but to make you look stupid because they knew that you was in front of the camera and everybody was watching you. And that's all that they wanted. Granted, can't nobody stand that motherfucker, like I said. Anyway, that's besides the point. What can't? However, when you have people as such, that's what my grandparents was trying. I think that's what they was trying to protect people from. Excuse me, because they heard about the elimination. I'm gonna say. Now I don't know if you've seen a video, my previous video about 3 weeks ago. I made a video about who is being eliminated, where is it coming from. Well, I'm not going to answer that question, but I will say that the elimination rumor has been going on for some time in the black church. In the black church, you don't hear that shit in the white churches. It's only in the black churches. But I don't know now. They probably, I don't know. But anyway, that shit started in the black fucking churches. And they was, it was like this big thing about, okay, elimination, or whatever. I'm not going to go in detail because I'm not going to do it. Find out for yourself. But I think that my grandparents, because I have both of my grandfathers who were owners, and I feel as though, because they knew, they followed me, or whatever, and that's how I know that it wasn't them. It was that man. You can sit up there and say that all you want, but when it comes down to money, and money matters, money make the world go round, honey. Without money, money talks, bullshit fucking walks. And then, when my great auntie died in January, they were like, well, you're going to have to move out or whatever, blase, blase. My whole thing about that was this. Okay, you're saying that I'm going to have to move out, but you don't have no deed to no property. I have the deed because I've been living here. Ain't nobody been living here but me and her. Keisha moved out, 2, 3, 4 years ago? She ain't got no deed. So my thing was, okay, that was a part. Now I know that was a part of, the operation. The operation of what? The operation of killing this family. Why this family? That's why I don't hate myself. Why this family? Because this is the most powerful family in America. That's why. Didn't know. Had no clue. As a matter of fact, this is the truth. I grew up with my dad. Sometimes I would see my mom, come to my mom's house. Sometimes, not that many I can count on 2 hands as a child. But sometimes we would go to the graveyard site. Like on a Mother's Day, if, that would be a good day. And you would go to the graveyard site and, go see Medea. We called her Medea, my mama's mom. Growing up, they was like, she died a year before I, was born. Blase, blase. Y'all, That's why I say you can laugh all you want to. But see, if you don't go on your own journey as to not only who you are, but the journey of whatever it is that you want to know for yourself, because nobody ain't gonna tell you, because they probably don't know. Ain't nobody tell you about purgatory, because ain't nobody know about motherfucking purgatory. Okay? Hardly ain't nobody knew. And then the people that knew, you're not gonna say anything because, they will come after your ass. Shit, they done came after me now, so it don't matter. But, yes, there is a purgatory. But anyway, it's not that, it's not them, it's certain people. Because I'm in the government. So they can laugh all they want. But they didn't fuck with too many of the wrong people. And that's why this shit is over with. Because you can fuck with people. But when you start fucking with the wrong motherfucking people. But anyway, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Or my family either. But whatever. So, they were saying, I'm just telling you, what's gonna happen. Because, now that T dead, you ain't gonna be able to stay in the house. That's what she said. You ain't gonna be able to stay in the house or whatever, because they gonna sell it. Or whatever. Or they might let you stay in there, but you have to pay rent. I'm like, so me, I do a seance. Lean. She tells me you can call, you can say anything they want to about seances and all that. Whatever you feel like you need to say. That don't mean that it's true. Because if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. If you don't, you don't. Simple and plain. Just like you go to funeral homes and you try to do voodoo and caskets. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. If you don't, you don't. Simple and plain. Because you can't tell me that you don't be doing stuff that's fucking foolishness. Any fucking way. Everybody do something. You doing something. You doing something. Somebody doing something for you. And I'm telling you what the truth is. You can sit up there with all that religious shit all the fuck you want. You ain't getting over on me. But so I was like, I ain't paying no mind, because I was like, man, whatever. But see, when that bitch came to the house and she snatched that motherfucking mirror off the wall, and I found out that wasn't her, my sister, that was a decoy. And she had been coming in and out, bringing clothes out the house, bringing my auntie clothes out the house. My auntie was almost 90 years old, so you know what kind of clothes she wore. You know what kind of clothes it was. But she was, kept bringing, and I was, I wouldn't. But every time she would come, pass down the street, or if I'm walking or going to get something, if I'm yoga walking or whatever, and I see her pass, she always would be missing. She'll stop by. She'll stop if I'm walking and start laughing and shit. One time I was beat her ass, but I had to remember, no. Because me and her, I had to remember, had to catch myself. Hold up, bitch. You really ain't on my level. You think you is, but you really not. Because you barking, I'm supposed to be your fucking sister. First of all, you go to somebody in somebody else's family, sisters don't act like that. You sitting up there and you know what I'm saying, you acting like that or whatever. You supposed to be my fucking sister. Sisters and brothers don't act that way. You know, you doing a little too much. Hell yeah, it's somewhere on YouTube. But you know, it's just like, okay, I ain't paying no mind because I'm like, I have the paperwork. I knew I had the paperwork the whole fucking time. Because I'm like, you know, after she died like not even 5 days after she went to the hospital. I mean, she went down like that because she was sick and she had a stroke because the water bill was not paid. I gave the woman the water bill. The water bill was like what it was. I think it was like $68 or whatever. 160 or something. Anyway, I gave them 170. Whatever amount it was. I know I ended up having $170 money order. Well, anyway, I gave her cash. She would come. And my daddy had just took sick. He was having a stroke back to back. And he would normally come and, you know, once a month he would come and bring us you know, grocery shopping or whatever. Well, wherever I had to go pay my bills or whatnot. And he was sick that month in January because he was in the hospital and they brought him back. So when the bill came, I gave her the money. She took her to grocery shopping. She shops right there on Government Street. Right there at the what is it? Super Shopper, Super Value. Water company, not even 10 minutes down the street from me. Gave her the cash money. She came back. The woman said, not my auntie. The woman said that she was, the line was, that's what it was. The line was too long. She said the line was too long. I got upset. She was like, well, I put on my card, give me the cash and I put on my card. And so I'm thinking, this is my sister. I know my sister been having a drug problem since she been on crack ever since 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? They ain't like a couple of years and you know, you can just get off of crack. No, she was actually addicted to crack, coke, and crystal meth for years. Since she's been having children, right? So, and that's hard to, you know, any little thing can be a trigger, right? So I was like, nah, you know, I knew money was a trigger for her. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna give you no cash or whatever. She was like, well, I'll just pay on my card and you can pay me back. I'm like, okay, cool. But she didn't have all the money in her bank account to cover the whole thing or whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, well, just take me across the street or whatever to the gas station. Let me get a money order. And I just sent it that way. She wouldn't even do that. She was like, no, I'm not doing that or whatever. I'm not taking you to the gas station. I'm into the gas station to pay a bill. She was like, that's your responsibility, blase, blase. I'm like, first of all, I'm not asking you to pay anything. I'm giving you the cash money and you failed to do what you were supposed to do, was to go just hand them the bill. You ain't got to walk nowhere. Stay right in the car, drive right up and wait 30 minutes. And I'm sure you would have been out of there, that line. So anyway, I ended up walking across the street. The water ended up getting cut off because they didn't receive the money in time because I had to mail it. That's how dirty This bitch is, I didn't know, I'm thinking it's my sister. So I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this bitch tripping, you know? Didn't know at the time. I think I was still in denial about some stuff. So I'm like, damn, that's fucked up, you know, or whatever. She's still talking to people, calling, oh, you know, lying on me, calling people, calling, you know, my dude, but calling my dude, oh, Keisha didn't, Ashley didn't pay the, you know, the water bill. That's not my responsibility. Trying to make it seem like I asked her to help me on a water bill, pay the water bill or whatever. I give you the money and I ask you to go and pay it with my money, not yours. I didn't ask you for a penny. Didn't need a penny. I get a check, right? Keep in mind. The woman took sick. The water went off. The water got cut off. She took sick that night, I guess. I'm assuming. Because the next day, uh I had to call the ambulance. The ambulance came and sent her to the hospital. She went down like that. Funeral came around. I didn't go to the funeral. Why I didn't go to the funeral? Because I knew it was gonna be some drama. And the way that she was acting, I'm like, you know what? She had already called the coroner on me in October of last year. Spent 2 weeks in a nut house last year because she had got my card and she didn't know that I knew about all this stuff. She got my card information or whatever, and she was trying to get my money off my card. This was before she had money. A dude that I was messing with gave her $1 million. He was a multi-millionaire. That's all I fuck with. And, you know, he gave her some money or whatever. You can't do, if I'm fucking with you, you can't do nothing that I don't know about. That's just what it is. It just comes with the package. So, you know, anyway, that was before she had money. She ain't had no money. She was living paycheck to paycheck or whatever, like everybody else. And she sent me to the hospital because she was like, I'm being delusional. Because I called her and asked her, did she, because somebody has been getting money off my car, card. And I'm like, it'd be like $100, $200, $300. And I'm like, I know I'm not spending all that. Because I was only paying 2 bills. Her 2 bills of hers, and I was paying a couple of my bills too. And so I'm like, but she was telling everybody in my family, she ain't paying no rent. You know, I think she was telling people that I was trying to make it seem like I was just a loading off for her or whatever. She didn't know what she was talking about. No, she probably knew what she was talking about. She was just trying to make me look bad. But I'm not going to stay with anybody with, you know, I feel some type of way staying here not paying no rent. Honestly. Or not paying anything, not paying a bill. But I'm only not doing it because of the situation that's going on and you trying to fuck over my life. I'm not about to sit up here and give you money. And I don't know if I'm going to have it next month or month after next. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do this to myself. That's stupid. You sitting up there, you know, like what the situation is. That's why. But all this stuff happened. All this stuff happened. And it's just like, I knew that I've had a feeling that with my sister, but she sounded just like her. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but one minute she looked crazy, like her, you know, cell phone drugs. Then the next day she blew up overnight. She got so bad. And I was like, okay, that's embalming fluid because she shot herself. But they brought her back. But I ain't know what was going on. You know what I mean? But, you know, I just be thrown off by how ignorant people, can be, how mean people can be to people. And it forces people to be mean, you know. So that's why right now I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a damn. I really don't, you know, because it's gonna come back. Cause once you get across them waters, you don't have no say so. Oh, you gonna get it back. Trust and believe. That's why I be careful about. That's why I be careful. And I used to get offended. I be offended sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. And I used to get offended real easy about, you know what I'm saying, people. That's why I say you gotta put on something, because all the laughing, you know what I'm saying, laughing and stuff. But I know who I am. Ain't got nothing to do with no religion. I'm not a religious person. I know who I am as a person. And who I am as a person, throughout that, I had to go through that. I had to go through those things. I had to. Now, about Zales, I had to go through that. It's hard. That's when I really got sick. When it should start happening, I really got sick, and after that, like my mental status started going down, because I was trying to keep up. I was working, going to school, trying to keep up with that. Had a relationship. It was with my ex. He was abusive. It wasn't all peaches and cream. But you can't do that. You can't say that in a public, because he's a public figure. You gotta keep a smile and you make it, it was just so much. And you can't stop. You gotta keep, and so trying to keep up with everything that's going on, because the world keep going on. I ain't never been through nothing like that before. It threw my mind completely off. Some people do not come back from that. That's what all this is about. Some people do not come back from what I came from. Some people do not come out of that. Some people do not come out of the mental part of it. I'm speaking about the psychological aspect. Some people get stuck in it. And they, you know what I'm saying? They get stuck in it and they die in it. And they never recover from the psychological damage that is so damaging. That's damaging, because I had in my head my goals, my aspirations I was working toward. I was in school as a paralegal. I was going to BRCC. He went to BRCC at the same time too. So I'm like, the dude. And so I'm like, seeing him on campus, I'm like, okay, should I talk to him throughout this? Shit. Well, this actually was right before it started. But I didn't know that people were trying to keep us apart. And I didn't know that all the stuff that was going on, there were people actually trying to keep us apart. But they were trying to keep us apart for a reason, and now I know why. But like I say, everything happened for a reason. But when you go on in your journey, things happen. You don't know why. You like, why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? Like, what have I done to people? What have I done in my life? It don't mean that you did anything. All the time, it does not mean that you've done anything. Those are hurdles and obstacles. Sometimes they be like, religious tell you to, move, your God gonna move obstacles. No, don't move no obstacles, nothing. You go through the motherfuckers. When you in police academy, you don't move no motherfucking obstacle. Tires and all that other shit that they be doing. You don't move that. What do you do in police academy? You go through it. Don't matter the time, because as long as you finish, you're going to finish and become a police officer. So, you don't have to move your obstacles. But all this had to happen. And why? Because I wanted better. When you want better and you have people that don't want to see you do good, you have to move in a certain type of way. That is a must. Or you would die trying to move. In the world that we're living in today, you got to do certain things a type of way. So, people laugh and stuff or whatever. It be them youngsters. You don't even know what you're laughing at. People hollering about, oh, you hate yourself. No, I don't. I don't hate myself. Why? Because I went through my journey, and I'm still learning. You don't never stop learning. If you stop learning, if you kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. You ain't supposed to say that. I mean, like, literally, But you don't ever stop learning. I went through those things because I had to go through those things. Because if I wouldn't have went through what I went through, I probably would have been a crackhead. So many people. I was hearing so many people wanted me on crack. So many people that I never even thought that they would even feel that way. That's what I was telling you about. And I was determined. I said, no. I'm not going to smoke no crack. Crack right there, damn near my fingertips. I don't want crack. Not saying that I'm better than a crackhead. Seeing what crack do to my sister her whole life. Bitch walked up the street. She had just had Tanisha. I'll never forget it. Bitch walked up the street with the baby in her arm. We had to get the baby out her arm. And she was about to sell her baby over some fucking crack. You don't have a clue. And you want to sit up there and act like you holier. You are holy. And you better than everybody else. But circumstances and situations in life will make you do things that you never thought you would do. You know? And then she said, when me and him got into it the other day, he called her and he had called me a crackhead. He was like, she a crack. See, they had, my mom and my stepdad had told my nephews when I left that I was on drugs and I was smoking crack, just like their mama. Because they thought that I was smoking drugs and a crackhead just like their mama because of what was going on in my life. I never ever touched a crack pipe, but to throw it away when I found it from my sister when I cleaned out her room. And that was the room that I was living in. There's only 2 bedrooms. Don't want crack. Never say what you never do. But you never know. But until this day, I've never touched crack in my life. And so what I was saying, I'm about to speed it up. It's long. I'm about to speed it up. So, you know, we would go to the graveyard site or whatnot. And be like, okay, my dear, we'll see, you know the same things we say. We go to a loved one's graveyard site, right? Flowers. Okay, bam. You get older. Still doing the same thing. It was ritual in our family. Mother's Day, right? It was not until the last year or two, not even 2 years, this last year, 2025, which was last year, I found out who my family was. Blew my mind. Blew my mind. I was suicidal and I wasn't suicidal. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I was suicidal and I wasn't suicidal. Then I would wake up and then I did not know how to take it. I did not know how to receive it. I did not know what to do. I was like, I was in denial, but then I wasn't in denial at the same time. Found out my grandmother. I went to Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is my store. Only for the candles and fabric, because I sew. Used to sew. Well, I used to. So, you can't tell me I ain't good for nothing. I know I do something. A little something. I sold a dress and it looked good. But it was out of sheets, so you can't really wear it. But it was a ball gown, but you really can't wear it because it was a sheet. You know what I'm saying? But I was just fucking around with it. But anyway. So, I going, trying to buy some candles. You know me. Had to walk in. That wasn't last year. That wasn't last year when I got that. Because I have just got I had got a very real bad allergic reaction. The allergic reaction was all on my face. This big. I ain't gonna lie, my lips. Y'all, my lips was so fucking. Jay-Z didn't have nothing on my lips, honey. Cameron Diaz, oh no. My lips were like this big. Just the lips started right here, and the bottom lip was right there. That's how big the fucking shit was. It was disgusting. Had shit all on my face. I still have scars. I still have this scar right here on my neck from it. It will never go away. Scars on my body and on my feet, bottom of my feet. I could not walk on my feet for 1 week. It hurt to walk on my feet. The allergic reaction that I had to a type of medicine that I got. Didn't know I was allergic to nuts. Because, you know, the older you get, your body chemistry changes and stuff. Didn't know I had anything of the sort. So I needed some candles. Well, I forgot what it was, but it was something that was kind of whatever. And I needed some candles, so I walked to the store. And I had the thing on my face or whatever. And I was coming off of it. And, you know, I could walk, of course, because I had walked to the store. Y'all, checking out my stuff. This woman was just an old lady. And a constable was behind me. And the woman pushed her basket on my heel. And I looked back. You know me, I'm like, I ain't gonna, you know, get no attitude or whatever with no old lady. You know what I'm saying? But I looked to see who it was. And I was like, so I kept on, you know, doing whatever I was doing at the counter. I'm trying to take out my stuff. And so the woman just kept looking at me. I was like, okay, what the fuck is she looking at? You know, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I look a mess. Anyway, she probably looking at me like, what the fuck? And I had this shit on my lip. I had this shit going on in my face and stuff. I'm like, okay, she probably looking at all that shit or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is unnecessary. Whatever it was really a necessity for me to, you know, to get it. Fast forward, found out, guess who that was? My grandmother. All the years that I was living as a child and as an adult, I was never told that my grandmother was alive. This is the honest truth, true story. Did not find out that my grandmother was alive and who my grandmother was. I had been lied to my entire life. I'm saying all this to say, no, I do not hate myself. I love myself. Because if it wasn't for myself and being who I am, Curious George, because I always was curious as a motherfucker as a child. I was curious. But if I was not a curious person, I would never learn the things that I learned. But you have to, as a person individually, find out what it is that you want to learn about yourself. What it is about yourself that you don't like, and change it. Don't sit up there and act like, you know, somebody else hate them. You don't know if somebody else hate themselves or not. Don't do that. No, I do not hate myself, but yeah, and then, you know, after that, I go back to the drawing board and I find out all about the royalty that I'm a part of, the royal family, whatever, that I'm a part of. I had no idea. And I mean, Dorothy and them struggle. If you would have, you know what I'm saying, you would have never known. But I was taught that you don't let, you know what I'm saying, you don't look for people to help you. You do it yourself. You know, but you know, that's when I found out. I don't tell. It's none of their business. It's none of nobody's business, because all it's gonna do is bring more confusion and more mess and drama. That's all it does. So if you are a part of anything of such, you should keep it to yourself. You know, you should keep it to yourself, because unless it will help you elevate, around a person that has the power to elevate you, not around just other people, because other people might fuck you up. But that's what I had to learn. No, I don't hate myself. I'm actually proud of myself because of what I've accomplished. I'm actually proud of myself, and then I learned that they took my name and stuff out the education system and all this other stupid fucking shit. Not Justin, Willie Thomas, just to say, okay, if I can't have you, nobody can type of fuck shit. You know, so but that's what it is. So, it's been almost 2 hours. It's time to get off of there. So well, learn yourself. Learn to love yourself. If you don't love the way you look, your makeup. If your hair don't grow the way, the length, don't wear it out. Wear weave. If your nails don't grow, put some nails on. Get your nails done. There's alternatives these days. Should nobody hate themselves. You know, even if they try to take it from you, still don't hate yourself. Do the best that you can do with what you have. Don't worry about nothing else. It's hard in the beginning, but you'll be okay. That's all I'm gonna say.